I know, y'all, that I ain't been talking this whole time on
Yes,
mute.
I can't hear her. So what did I do wrong?
Listen, I know. Look, when I looked down to bring you up, I said, "Wait, I know I ain't been talking this whole time on mute." That's all right, because you know what? Welcome to call me CEO of the conversations. I can't believe y'all that I've been talking to
Um,
this whole time on mute, but I'm gonna say it again anyway, because that's what happens when you're live. Sometimes it happens, right? So this
yeah.
is the show where we talk about the real, raw, and sometimes I'm cracking up because I really just said this, uncomfortable moments behind becoming the woman you were meant to be. And I'm saying it again because y'all need to hear it. I am your
Mhm.
host, Angela M. Davis, aka Angela Dee. I'm an international best-selling author, international speaker, and master digital marketing strategist. And I'm on a mission. I'm gonna say this again, y'all. I'm on a mission to help women to reignite their passion, rediscover their purpose, and reinvent their lives and their businesses. And so each week I sit down with powerhouse women. These women are authors, speakers, CEOs, and entrepreneurs who are leading every day with heart, faith, and fire. And tonight, in tonight's episode, we are talking. And tonight, I want to say though, this is an episode that every woman, every single one of us needs at some point in her journey. We're talking about storms. We've all had them. We have all lived through them, and especially as women, but not just the storms that show up on the outside, the storms that everybody see. I'm not just talking about those. I'm talking about the storms that show up on the inside, the storms that shake your identity, your faith, your confidence, and your direction. And so tonight's episode title is Rebuilding After the Storm. And I'm going to skip the rest of this part and I'm going to introduce Jescika Holloway. Jescika is a woman of grace, a woman of resilience and deep spiritual purpose. She's a devoted wife of 30 years, a mother of six, and a grandmother of seven, honey. Yes, she is. She carries a legacy of love, faith, and wisdom. And she is a passionate reader and writer. Jescika uses her words as her sanctuary, sharing her journey and messages of hope to inspire others to walk boldly in their own stories. So, welcome, Jescika. I am so honored to have you here with me tonight for this powerful conversation.
Thank you.
Um, I still can't
Thank
believe
you
I
for
did that. And you
having
know what's
me.
crazy? This is the second week I did this. I was so
Oh, because girl, I was like, okay, I'm really not tech savvy, but what did I do? So I was
did I
looking
do
down.
something?
Did
Did
I
I
do
do
something wrong?
that?
I was like, I
That's all
can't
right.
hear her.
It's all good. It's all good, honey. The
Yes,
people
it
know what I
is.
got going on. But again, I'm
Yeah.
so excited. So I want to welcome you. And thank you for taking just a little bit of time out of your day because you know it's late to be here with me to have this conversation with me. So
That's all
her
right. Thank you for
storm
having me.
story. Yes, yes. Like I said, I just said we didn't even realize we were in an anthology together.
I
So that
know.
is
We
so amazing.
didn't.
That's
Yes.
amazing. But you know what? It really goes to show that we are all connected. We are all connected on this journey, man.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
just being able to network with each other and grow with each other, I think is really amazing.
it
So I
is.
want to start with her storm story, is what I call it.
Mm-hmm.
Right where a lot of women are right now. There are, especially in the climate that we're in now,
Yeah.
um, the climate that we're in, we are in the middle of an extremely difficult season right now. But
Yeah.
not, I don't really want to touch on what everybody else is going through. I'm gonna say it's really hard for women out here right now. Even though we
Mm-hmm.
rising and we taking over and we doing all of the things, it's a difficult season, right? And I
Right.
know that every storm has a starting point, a moment
Mm-hmm.
when everything shifts and life just really just doesn't really look the same anymore. And so what was that moment, that everything shifted for you? Because I know you've been through a storm, and what was the beginning of that for you?
So the beginning, and I know everyone can resonate with what I'm about to say because, of course, everyone knew, we all know what we were doing when COVID hit,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, I had got, sent home for 30 days, of course, because COVID had hit and all things, had shut down. And at the time, I was a sous chef at the
Mm.
casino here in
Okay.
Arizona. Um, and just a backstory, I've been a chef for like 35, 40 years. Thought that was my purpose and
Yeah.
ran with it. but was spinning my
Yeah.
wheels pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's fast forward to when the storm hit. So we were at home, my family and I were doing the TikToks. We were being foodies, eating, ordering everything because we couldn't go eat. And my chef called me and said, well, so my nickname is Cece.
Okay.
Cece, we need you to come back to work. I'm like, okay, chef, that's fine. I'll come back, no problem. So went back to work. And about 2 weeks in, I was standing at the table and I had a team of like 8 people. And I was like, I said, "Do y'all hear that?" I looked around. I heard a ringing, a buzzing in my ear. And they
Mm.
would say, "What, chef?" And I said, "Nothing." I just ignored it because I was like, I thought I was hearing things. I thought I was tripping, right? So
Right.
I ignored it. And so the buzzing and the ringing became more and more like there, there. And I told my husband, I said, I have to go see my doctor because something is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for 6 months, sis, 6 months, I went through testing with the allergies and the food allergies and all the things for 6 months. And then finally I went back to my original doctor and he said, well, I think I'm going to send you to an audiologist. I said, well, what is that? I didn't even know what an audiologist
Right.
was.
Right.
And he said, it's a hearing doctor. He said,
Mm-hmm.
because your ears are ringing, we need to find out what's going on. He said, it sounds like you have tinnitus. I said, well, what? I said, that's what this is? I'm looking like, that's what this is? He said, yes, ma'am, that's what that is. So I went to the appointment. And Angela, I was very scared because I sat in this chair. I had this harness on. The lights were off, and they were like testing my brain, and they were
Yeah.
like measuring my brain, and they were doing all these for 3 hours. I was in this office. I was super scared. And he sat me down when it was over. He said, Miss Holloway, he said, you have chronic tinnitus,
Mm.
ringing of the ears. And I was like, I know. I'm like, well, where did it come from? He said, I don't, they have no place where it comes from. And he started telling me, my test results came in that day. And Angela, I had lost I don't remember the percentages right now, but I had lost certain percentages of my hearing in each ear.
Wow.
And he told me that my brain was functioning 3 to 4 times slower than what it
Mm.
was supposed to. Right. And so
Yeah.
I was just sitting there like flabbergasted, like, what? Like, I thought
Right.
I was in a dream, really. I'm like, wait a minute, pinch myself, like, what is going on? So, hey, so he said, I recommend that you get some hearing aids. And we, went through the things and all that. And then I was like, well, I said, well, I'm going to get my hearing back, right? He said, no, you're never going to get that hearing. I'm like, what you mean I'm not going to get my hearing back? He said, no, once you
Right.
lose your hearing, he said, you never get that back. And I was like,
Right.
really? He's like, no, you never get that back. I said, well, I don't listen to loud music. I don't, I don't do any of that stuff. He said, I don't know where it came from. He was just telling me his history, how he was born with it, da 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 da. And I was thinking, I
Wow.
was like, I don't care if you were born with it. Like, I don't know
Right.
where
I
this
want,
came
I want to know what you got going on.
exactly like the ham and cheese is
Right.
going on here. Like
Right.
I'm moving to die. Like what the heck? That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking to myself. So I remember just, driving home and I was like devastated. I was
I'm sure.
devastated because at that
Yeah.
point in my life, I was in the word, I was fasting, I was praying, I mean, even during COVID, my husband and I, we were ordained ministers. We baptized people in our bathtub, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we were doing God's work.
Yeah.
And for the next, I'm going to say I'm going to give it a good 45, I'm going to give it a good 3 to 6 months more. I went
Mm.
into deep depression. I did.
I'm sure.
I went into deep, deep, deep depression. And I remember just sitting there like this in my bed, just in the dark, because all you hear is the ringing, the ringing, the ringing, the ringing, and it's
And so it was
24.
constant, the ringing?
It's my ears are ringing right now,
Wow.
and sometimes it's like a sometimes like it just
Right.
goes up and down, and
Right.
it was just it messes with your sleep. I get migraine headaches now.
Right.
Um, I stutter because I did a little research on it, and people's normal sound waves, they go like
Mhm.
this in their brain, right?
Mhm.
Well, when you have tinnitus, it's like this.
Wow.
And so that's where the ringing comes in, because it's like, what are we doing? You know?
Right.
And so first, oh my God, it was so bad. It was so bad. I had never been through anything like this in my life. And I remember just one night praying on my knees. It was probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was just crying. I was trying not to cry so loud because I didn't want to wake my husband up. And I remember just
Mhm.
pleading with him and saying, God, please take this away. Like, I can't take this. Like, this is wrong. Like, what did I do to deserve this? And
Yeah.
I was like, God, I'm sorry, because, I'm still doing pastries, and I know I'm supposed to be writing, and I'm supposed to have a
Mhm.
book out by now. And I wasn't doing that. And I thought God was punishing me. I did. I thought he was punishing me because I wasn't walking in my purpose. I thought he was punishing me. And my husband woke up and he said, "What's wrong, baby? You can't sleep again?" And I just busted out crying even more. And I was like, "Honey, this, I can't take it, you know." And I said, "My brain is dying." And I said, "I give you permission to remarry because I'm gonna die soon." Like, I was
Hmm.
really going, I was
Goodness.
there. I was
Yeah.
there, sis. I was really, and
Yeah.
I sat my kids down, and I would tell my kids, like, you know, this is bad, y'all. This is bad what I'm going through. And I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be here. I really thought I was dying. But that was the
Hmm.
devil trying
Yes,
to,
ma'am.
you know, just
Yes,
take me
ma'am.
out, pretty much. He was
Yes,
just trying to
ma'am.
take me out. And in that moment, this is when I said we have to honor our husbands who are our men of gods. He grabbed me so hard, sis, and he grabbed me and he was like, "No, that is not how God works." And he was like, "You are his daughter." He began to speak life into me. He prayed over me. He's like, "No, I don't know how you got this. I don't know where it came from or why." He said, "But we are going to get through this. We're going to
Mm.
get through this." And in that moment, I would say that's when he like pulled me up out of that hole I was in, because I
Yeah.
couldn't pull myself up, because I
Yeah.
was I was done. I was
Yeah.
toast. I was
Yeah.
toast. And in that moment, he just ministered to my spirit and prayed over me. And he even looked up and he was like, "This is why you sleep all the time. This is why you're tired." Because my brain is overworked just
Right.
because it's ringing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is the moment. That's the moment when the storm started.
Oh my
But
goodness.
at the
And
same time, it's like that's where I pivoted. But it took some time for me to how can I say, it took me some time to like look up and see God, and see God how he sees me, you know.
yeah.
I had to like think, God, how do you see me? And then I went to, reminds me of I forgot the story in the book with when the concubine she thought she was, going to have the key Abraham and Sarah, and
Hmm.
and she, went out in the wilderness, and she didn't take enough food with her because she
Mm.
got, moved out because she
Yeah.
was trying to take Sarah's spot. And
Yep.
Abraham like, "No, this my wife, you the side chick," you know. And and she didn't take enough food, and she gave her son the last little bit of food, and then she talked to God and said, "God, you're the God of Elroy. You're the God who sees me." And so I just like took that in, and I said, "God, you are my God of Elroy. You see me. You see me, Jescika. You see me. So whatever this is, you're gonna have to help me get through this,
Yeah.
because I can't take this. Like, this is crazy."
Yes.
And I was just honest with him. And from that day on, I just began to get in my word even more. And the word
Hmm.
became life to me. And then, to believe it or not, the ringing, it's still there, but I wasn't so focused on it. I was
Yeah.
more focused
Yep.
on, who I am, whose I am,
That's right.
what am I doing
Um,
here? What am I supposed to be doing here? And I gave myself some grace, because I
Yeah.
was really hard on myself, you
Yeah.
know. And I just began to walk in that lane. And tell God, okay, well, if I'm going to have this, then let's do it. I'm going to do this
That's
with the
it.
ringing ears. I'm going to do this with the headaches, the migraine headaches, the tiredness all the time. I'm going to do this. And I
Man.
went to the first Woman Evolve conference in Arlington, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
It was in I want to say 2023, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I went by myself, and that was the first time I flew alone. And the funny story, when you have tinnitus, sometimes you get vertigo,
Yeah, yeah.
and sometimes you get disoriented and you get confused and you just can't remember. So I ended up, and thank God I went to the airport in plenty of time, because I was on the wrong side of the airport,
Mm,
wrong terminal, all the things.
mm.
And I was like, oh my God. My husband's like, baby, you should have called me. I was like, well, I was trying to figure it out. He
Right,
said,
right, right.
but thank God
Man,
I got my right area. And that was the devil again,
I'm telling
trying to
you,
distract me.
because
He
you
had
felt
something big for me.
alone. And
I
when you
felt
feeling
alone.
that, you felt alone, and that's when he tried to get up in there, man. That's when he
That's
tried to get up in
when,
there. Yeah,
because I had
because you
never flown
feel.
before by myself, first time
Right,
ever.
right.
So, got to the conference, girl, and it was just amazing. Like, he spoke to me the whole 3 days
Mm-hmm.
and gave me a commission, and that was in September. And when
Mm-hmm.
I got back, my birthday is in November, and I could still feel the spiritual residue from that conference.
Mm-hmm. I listen,
Like,
I went last year, so I know what you're talking
girl,
about.
so you was in Atlanta?
No, not Atlanta. Not this year. This year was Atlanta. Last year it was
Oh, I was
in
there.
Dallas. Last year
I
was
was
in Dallas. It was
I went the
Dallas.
second, yes, I went the second year, and the second time I took three people with me. I took my
Mm-hmm.
cousin and two of my girlfriends, because I
Mm.
was like, y'all gotta
And
come, y'all
it
gotta
stays
do
on
this.
you, man. It stays,
Man,
that
I'm
feeling stays with you.
you remember when
And
Cheryl Brady preached?
mm, that was
When
the
Cheryl
first time I had seen.
girl,
I was like, "Come
girl, listen,
on, man,
when Cheryl Brady preached, my hair was cute. It was up
come
in the like,
on, baby."
and I had braids in my hair. And girl, when I left there, I was spiritually drunk. My
I'm
braids, my
telling
hair
you.
was everywhere. And my cousin was trying to ask me questions, and I couldn't even talk. I said, listen.
Mm-hmm.
She got it on the film, and there's every once in a while she'll send it to me and say, do you remember this? I'm like,
Mm,
yes, I
mm,
remember
mm,
that,
mm.
cousin. But when Cheryl
Listen,
Brady preached,
when
remember, she
she
kept saying a
came through,
wrecking
honey,
ball.
she
She
came
kept saying a
through.
wrecking ball is about to come through.
She came through. Yes, she did. And you
Man,
know what? Oh man, what you just said was so powerful, because so many women feel alone in their storms. So many
yeah,
women feel forgotten in their storms.
yes.
And what you did mention, what I really liked was about your spouse.
Hmm.
Um, you know what I mean? Because sometimes we as women like to think we can take all of this stuff on ourselves. Even
Hmm.
sometimes in our when we're married, or
Yeah,
in our marriages, and we kind of push our spouse to the side, because we forget that that's that partnership, and we
right.
forget. And I think sometimes we cause our own angst. You know what I mean? We
Hmm.
cause our own angst because we get in our own head. We don't give ourselves grace.
Right.
And that's us, not, to be honest, it's really disobedience, because
It
God,
is.
what are we worrying about? What are we stressing
Hmm.
about? Why are we not
Right.
giving ourselves grace? So I think
Hmm.
that part, what I mean, hearing this part will remind some women, you're not fighting by yourself. You're not
That's
fighting by
right.
yourself, man.
That's
You are
right.
not
That's
fighting
right.
by yourself, which leads me to surviving versus living, because
Mm,
there's a difference, right? There's a big difference between surviving and actually living. And so a lot of us, we go through these storms and we function on autopilot almost, right?
yes.
We just keep going and going and
Hmm.
going, but we're not really healing. We're not healing, we just going. So
Just
at
going.
what point did you realize you weren't surviving anymore, that you were actually thriving? How did you begin the process of like rebuilding your life, rebuilding it emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, all of those things? How did you know what I mean? Did you have
Yeah,
therapy? I know
I
faith,
did. I went to
support
therapy.
system, all of those
I
things.
went to, I have a, even though, I was, I'm spiritually mature.
Yeah.
I believe we all should have somebody, that we can go and talk to.
Yeah.
And I did, and I went to counseling. I did because I was like, this is nuts. Like I need some help. Like I don't have the answers. I don't have a scripture. I don't have a prayer to pray. I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you
Mm-hmm.
need that professional help to
Yeah.
help you answer those questions and guide you through whatever what you're going through. And that's what I did. I
Because you
think I
said
went to therapy
you felt
for.
you were in a depression, right?
I was depressed, and I didn't
Yeah.
realize I was depressed. Honestly, I didn't realize I was depressed until after I got through it, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That
You
was
don't.
depression."
You don't.
Because
You do not.
I forgot to tell you this part. Sis, I was thinking about suicide. I
I
really was.
understand. I
I
understand.
really, really was. I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm out. I'm done with this because this is nuts.
Yeah.
Jesus, I want to come to you,
Yeah.
because it was that bad. It was oh my God. I don't wish this on anybody. And there's 740 million people,
Mm-hmm.
estimated 740 million people with this disease. And
My God.
I'm on a Facebook group chat, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I have to get off of it because people will post stuff like, I'm in a hospital, I just tried to kill myself, or
Mm.
I drank too much and I had to get treated for alcoholism. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, man. So I will, I'll say a quick post, but
Right.
this I
Sometimes
know
it's draining. It's
it's
that
draining.
energy can be
It's,
draining.
it's
Yeah.
draining, and I don't know, but I just feel like not enough people are talking about this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to bring awareness. And although I can't heal you, but I can tell you what I do. I can tell you what
Absolutely.
my story, and through my words, through my inspirational poems and like speaking engagements, and give you some hope,
Yeah.
inspire you. I want to be the voice to the unseen, because some people will never say, I have tinnitus. They will never say it. They won't, because
Yep.
it's something that you like. I don't want to tell people that, you
Yep.
know, you
Yep.
know,
Exactly.
and
And
uh,
oh man, I relate so wholeheartedly because having bipolar disorder, you don't want to tell nobody that. I used to,
mm,
I would never share that.
mhm.
But now I know and realize and understand that it's part of my mission.
It's part of your
It's
mission.
part of my
Yes.
mission.
Hmm.
It's part of my ministry. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
I am no preacher by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a daughter of the Most High.
Hmm.
And
That's
my
right.
words are my testimony. My life is my testimony. And women,
Amen.
just doing that, women have come and gravitated to me. So I know I'm
Hmm.
doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I wasn't
Exactly.
doing it before and I was scared, because we get
Yeah.
scared. We don't want
You
everybody out.
do.
I don't want nobody to know,
Your
especially in
business.
the black
Yes.
community, especially in the black
Hmm.
community. And
Especially.
especially as women, we try to hold it and keep it. We don't want everybody to know. We want to keep that
Hmm.
strong black woman persona. And man, it kills us. It
And
kills
that's
us.
pride when you don't share
Yeah.
your life.
Yep.
That's really priceless, because we're
Yeah.
sitting here for a purpose. No matter what the purpose is, we're supposed to,
Yeah.
our lives are supposed to be an open book, because God knows
Absolutely.
everything anyway.
Absolutely.
you know
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. And we get so caught up and worried, a lot of times and sometimes, and I don't think we even do it consciously. Sometimes it's subconscious. When
yeah.
you are always on social media or you see all of these different, and you see people with these lavish, so-called wonderful lives. And so
Hmm.
sometimes it makes you look at yourself a little differently because you're not really thinking,
Yes.
that they could have issues and things like that. And you get to doing the
Right.
comparing and things,
That's true. That's
and so
true.
it
That's true.
is. It really is. It
Yes.
really
Yes.
is.
Yes. Yes.
And to know that rebuilding just does not happen, in one moment, man. It's
No.
it's it's a
It
series of small
man.
decisions, small steps, small
Hmm.
shifts, right?
Yes. And it's
Um,
you're taking off layers of
yeah,
stuff. You're literally
yeah.
taking off layer. I mean, I got diagnosed. It'd be almost 6 years, and
Mm,
and I still have to like tell my soul, no, we're not doing that today.
yeah.
No, no, no. I
Yep.
am the daughter of the Most High. I am fearfully. I have to talk to myself. I am
That's
fearfully
right.
and wonderfully made. I have to, I have to take precautionary measures. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm gonna tell you just some of the stuff that I do. Like, I work right in my city, right?
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I put on my GPS with everywhere I go
Mm-hmm.
because with this disease, I have to think, okay, you remember, Cece, you better turn right because if you don't turn right at this corner, you're gonna be lost.
Right. Right. Right.
I
Right.
use
Right.
my GPS for everywhere I go. I mean, I don't care if it takes me around in a loop. I know I'm gonna get there.
But that's your method. You know what I mean? That's
My
one of
method.
your mechanisms that keep
Yes.
you going, and keep you
Hmm.
sane. Sometimes it's
Yes.
about keeping yourself
Yeah.
sane and whatever it
Yes.
takes, man.
Yes.
Whatever it takes. So let's talk a little bit about purpose after the pain, right? Purpose after it, because when we go through these storms, they don't leave us the same. You know what I mean?
No.
They don't leave us the same, but they do leave us wiser. If you
Hmm.
know if you are paying attention, they leave us wiser, they leave us stronger and more aware. Self-awareness is
Yes.
so important and more aligned. So
Hmm.
what did this storm teach you about yourself, and then what purpose did you discover on the other side of that pain?
This storm taught me that that everyone is going to have a scar. You're going to have flaws, and unfortunately, this is the hand that I've been dealt.
Hmm.
But I'm going to go hard or go home.
That's it.
You
That's
know,
it.
and that's where I'm at. And what was the other part of the question? I'm sorry. This is
The
part
other
of the
part was,
sorry.
I said, it's okay. What did it teach you about yourself? You told me that. And what purpose did you discover, though, on the other side of that? Because, you talked about your writing,
Hmm.
your poetry, your
Hmm.
inspiring other women to do, and to make it through these storms. So it sounds like to me, that's the purpose that you discovered on the other side of this pain. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Yeah.
yes, yes. That's the purpose that I discovered, and I discovered that God has blessed my hand with the pen to the
Hmm.
paper, and when I write and when I write poems, it's just me and him talking, you
Hmm.
know, and I just love the fact that he chose me, you
Yeah.
know, because he didn't have to choose me,
That's right.
because I'm a twin survivor as well, Angela.
Yeah.
My twin passed away when we were 13 hours old.
Oh my good. You know what? I do remember you sharing that when I was watching you on another interview. That is crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
we were 13 hours old, and she literally, like, she was her feet were on my shoulders, pushing
Mm,
me down. Like, no, I don't want to come out. Let her come out. And then it flipped. I
mhm,
flipped, and she tried to come, but she literally crawled back up my mother's womb, grabbing onto my
mm,
mother's muscles and everything. She was so scared. She was
mm,
so scared. She was like, God, I don't want to go. Let Jescika go because I can't do
wow.
this." And I
Wow.
and I talked to my mom about this like not too long ago, and I said, "Mama," I said, "what do you think she was thinking?" And she said, "I just think she was scared, and I think that she told God, I don't, let me come back to you, and let Jescika do
Mm,
what we're supposed to do."
yeah.
And I feel commissioned, and I feel compelled to, like a double portion to like tell our story, because she did live for 13 hours, and
Right.
we were so little. Like, I think I was a pound and 12 ounces, and she might have been a pound and
Mm,
13. We were tiny. We were little, little, little,
mhm.
and like an inch longer than a ruler, they tell me. And um, was in the
Wow.
hospital for like, I think my mom said I was in the hospital for like 6 months. And when I did come home, I was still little. And you remember those baby alive
Yep.
dolls?
The baby
My
alive. Yeah. Yeah. With the
sister
little
had one.
clothes and
That's what my mom dressed me in, baby doll clothes.
wow.
I
Wow.
was that little. And so
Yeah.
just hearing those stories from my family, I was like, well, shoot, I'm a walking miracle.
That's right.
I better
That's
open up my mouth
right.
and say something,
That right there. That right there. That
you know?
and that's incredible. How our hardest lessons teach us who we really are. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, Purpose shows up in places like when we felt, we once felt broken, but you are just a beautiful example of showing up for yourself. You are a beautiful example of, taking what life gave you and flipping it around, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
and making the most out of that.
Right.
Right now, there is a woman watching somewhere, whether she's watching on the replay, whether she on here right now. Ain't nobody on here right now, but they'll be
Right.
on here later, wherever they
Somebody's
at.
gonna
Um, she might be tired. She might be overwhelmed. She might be questioning everything. She might be questioning God,
Mhm.
herself, her path, her strength. What would your words be to that woman?
My words would be to you, be like, sis, you got this. Come on now. You got this. You got this. You got this. You know yourself. You know who you are. You know whose you are. You are God's daughter. And you were sent here for a purpose.
That's
And
right.
his grace is sufficient. His
That's right.
grace and mercies are renewed daily. Grab a hold to that and just run with it like I did. Like I used to say to myself every day, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts you think towards me, they're thoughts of
Mm,
peace and not of evil, to give me expected end and a hope. I think I said that like 100 times a day, sis, for
mm.
months and months and months until it became a part of me,
Yeah,
until it became a part of my spirit. And now it's like, I'm God's daughter. Like, we're gonna do this
that's
because I
right.
know the thoughts he thinks towards me. They're thoughts of
That's right.
peace
That's
and
right.
not of evil, to give me an
That's it.
expected
You
end.
better say
Oh,
it, girl. You
that's
better
what
say
that's
it.
what that's
That's
about.
right. You better say
And
it, man.
that's one of my favorite scriptures, one of my very
Mhm.
favorite scriptures. And so
That's
that's what I
it.
would say to whoever is watching this on the replay. You know, you got this, and then connect with your tribe, connect
Yeah.
with your people, connect
Yeah.
with people who are going to, not coddle you, connect with people that are going to push you, connect with people that are going to support you, connect with people that are going to love on you when you need it. Because
Absolutely.
I prayed, sis. I prayed so hard. I said, God, I want you to put women in my life that are going to sharpen me, women that are going to fine tune me, because this author speaker thing for me is fairly new, you
Right.
know. And I said, God, I want to do your will, your way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be perfect at it, but I
That's
still want to
it.
do it your way and your will. And he put the most amazing people in my life. Like, I can't fail. I just can't. I won't fail because they got me.
Yeah.
Y'all got me. Y'all
Yeah.
got me.
Absolutely.
So
And
that's
I
what I
can
was saying.
absolutely relate to that because I have been surrounded by, a group of women that, oh man, I
Mm,
can't even describe, there's
yes.
Nadia, there's
Hmm.
Joan, there's oh my God, there's so many women that I've been
Yes.
connected to.
Hmm.
And God has given me every single thing that I prayed for.
Yes.
But it
That's
does
right.
not come a minute before it's supposed to. It
Nope.
don't come a minute before it's supposed to.
It doesn't.
Um, Healing sometimes begin with just hearing somebody else, you know what I'm saying, share their hearing or their healing
Mhm.
and their testimony, and it lets them know that they're
Right.
not alone and they're going to be able to get back
Hmm.
up. And I feel like this conversation has just been a reminder to whomever is watching, that storms don't break strong women, baby. They don't break
Right.
strong women. They shape them, they prepare us, they refine us, and they
Yes.
position us. They position us, right? We get into position for the life
Hmm.
that we were designed to live because God put us here.
Hmm.
But and we are all here for something. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Our stories, our testimonies, our life, our experiences, God put us here just for that. So I thank you,
Right.
sister, for sharing your heart, your strength, and your truth and your story. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so I want you to tell people how they can connect with you. Tell them about like the projects that you have coming up. How can they connect with you and how can they purchase your books?
So yes. So first of all, I had the opportunity to work for 6 months with Dr. Nadia Mansano. I went through her business coaching class, and I graduated from her school in November. And it taught me everything I needed to know about my business, everything from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
And it was challenging, but I got through it. And we were able to work on my first solo project together, which is Ink and Elevation, a
Okay.
poetry journey through life. And I just almost get emotional because these are poems that I put together. I had journals for years that I would just journal and talk to God, and I put them all into a poem form, 30 poems. And just that
Wow.
book is everything, I'm telling you. And it's funny because I'm a true introvert, but I'm sharing my life with the world.
Yeah.
And poems are there's poems in there for everything, for happy times, for sad times, for struggling times, for marriage, for everything. There's 30 poems in there. And Nadia worked alongside with me and helped me, create it. And we did all the things. And I'm so proud of it. And I actually have it here.
Okay.
And I'm ready to I'm
Ink and
ready to
elevate.
ship it to I'm ready to ship it to you.
I
Ink and
love it.
Elevation. And my website is, www.jessikaholloway.com. And I don't know if I can put that in the chat.
Yeah, and even if you can't get it in there, I will make sure that I get your link inside the chat so people can click
Okay.
on it later. Because a lot of times people get on the replay, and I've had a couple of people like, "Wait, you had such and such on there. I want to be able to get her stuff." So we'll drop
Yes.
these links in the chat. How can they find you on social media?
On social media, I am on Instagram, Facebook, and Alignable, and that handle is author Jescika Holloway. I kept it real simple.
And I was just about to say, because the marketer in me was about to say, I hope it's uniform everywhere on every platform.
Yes, that's what Nadia and Dr. Nadia was like. Listen, we're gonna keep this simple. We're gonna what? How do you want to say it? I'm like, let's just keep it simple because I
That's
didn't
right.
want it to be,
Because you don't want people
what
to
she
have to
said.
work hard to find you. They should be able to just
Um,
look up Jescika Holiday, and there she go. Holloway, I'm
That's
sorry,
right.
and there
That's
she
right.
is. That's it.
And so yeah, that's what I'm doing. And so I'm working on some new stuff. I'm working on uh the face of the beautiful face of the invisible illness. We're going to be rolling that out soon. And 2026 is looking good. I got some
Okay.
things coming and some surprises for you all.
Yeah.
God is stretching me, and I'm ready for the challenge because I know, that in life there's people called just to you. There's people that are called just to you, Angela,
Yeah,
and
there
that
is.
those are the people that we are supposed to touch, and that
That's
is
right.
that is part of my mission. Sis, I just want to touch God's people with what God put inside of me.
Yeah,
And so and I just want to go to Him empty, like God, I gave it all.
that's right.
I gave it everything you put in me. I gave it.
That's
It's
right.
down there on earth. I gave it.
That's right.
And so that's part of my mission. And I just want to be pleasing in His sight. And
Yeah.
because I know, that every, idle word that I'm going to be judged on it. So sometimes, you run into those people that want to challenge you and argue and stuff. I don't say anything. I just get
Hmm.
quiet, because I don't want to be judged. I don't cut people. I
Yeah,
build,
that's right.
you know.
That's right. And you know what? Your story is going to help more women than you will ever know. Than you will ever know. And you will be amazed, I tell you. You will be amazed at the people that will reach out to you. So, again, I thank you for being here, sister. I thank you for your time. I
Thank
thank you for
you.
your honesty, your transparency, and I thank you for your testimony, man. Thank you for
Oh,
being here. I do.
thank you for having me. It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. I was a little nervous, Angela. I said, she,
Why?
oh no, you a little tough, but I was like, she cool. I was like, when you asked me, I was like, I don't know, should I do it or not? But I was like, girl,
Oh!
I said, girl, you better do it. Don't be, I said, don't be scared. It's
Don't
okay,
be
Lord. I can
scared, baby. Let me tell you something. My motto is scared money don't make no money. And it's not
Okay.
always about, when I say that, I'm not always talking about money. So just think about
Yeah.
that. Scared money don't make no money. Now let's go.
Yes.
And
Let's
I'm
go.
about to hit him with Meek Mill. If I ever go broke, I'm gonna take your money. What? Let me get up off this thing again, sister.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you,
You are
thank
so
you.
welcome. Thank you for having me again.
Yes,
It was my pleasure.
yes, ma'am. And I will see you out here in these Facebook streets. Thank you again.
Okay.
All
You're
right,
welcome.
y'all. Listen, y'all, that was really, really, really a great conversation. Make sure you go find Jescika Holloway on, she said Facebook, Instagram. Go find her, Alignable. Get her book, follow her journey, and man, let's go and connect. And so, to everyone else, making sure that you're watching, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Dee. Make sure you find me on, I'm everywhere, Angela Dee or Angela Dee Official. We got some more episodes coming up, but also make sure you grab your copy of Don't Call Me Crazy, Call Me CEO, a guide to women, or a guide for women running businesses while managing their mental health. That's the inspiration for these conversations. Call Me CEO, the conversations. It's also the inspiration for the Call Me CEO 2026 tour, honey, that is coming up. We will be in Buffalo, New York, my hometown. We will be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we will be in Detroit, Michigan. And we might be one more place coming near you. So in the comments, there's going to be some links. Make sure you're following. Make sure you're staying tuned. And I will see y'all next week now. All right. Deuce.